Hi guys, happy Friday, TGIF. Thanks for the host as well, Chief and Death. Hope everyone's day has been swell so far. Mine definitely has, nice and productive. Hello Spyros, how are you today? Pretty excited for today's stream. Making one of my faves, French dips or beef dips, as it's also known as. What's good, man? I don't know, life. Things have been really good this week. I got nothing to complain about, that's for sure. Weather's still holding up. Went for a walk at the beach. It was lovely. How about you guys? So I have the baguette dough already made. I mixed that up at around 1, and then I put it to proof at 130. And it has to proof for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. So we'll see how that goes. We'll let that go. I'm sorry you guys didn't get to see that process, but it was kind of silly for me to start the stream at 1 if we're not going to be doing too much during that time. Sup, Death. And then our sous-vide strip loin. So I already kind of cut off the piece that we're going to be sous videing. I'll kind of show you guys that in a sec after we get done all of this. The fury of death. Watch out. And then we're going to be doing some truffled mushrooms to go into the beef dip. And then our cheese that we're going to use is provolone. That was Sammy's request. I think it's going to go really good with it. And then we're going to make some beef choux out of some marrow bones. So pretty much everything's gonna be made from scratch today. Oh, doggo. Every day we go through this. No. Doggo's barking at the neighbor. She's cray. Okay. And then our salad, so we have to roast off some corn and some peppers for our salad, and then we'll make a really nice cumin lime vinaigrette. And it's also gonna get topped with some fresh herbs chopped and some goat feta, which I found at the store today. Good afternoon, Steampunk. How is it going? So our timeline, we have some long processes today, including the baguettes, which take about 4 hours to make from start to finish. So I left myself plenty of time to get them together. And they should be finished baking around 5:30. That way they have a little bit of time to cool before we cut them open and build our sandwiches. And then the sous vide beef will take about 3 to 3.5 hours. But the directions that I found said you could do anywhere between 1 hour and 4 hours. So I'm gonna try and go longer for this just because it is a bigger cut of meat. And the good thing is that these processes aren't very hands-on. So you can do other things in the meantime. Like fold laundry or do dishes, aka the things that I've been doing. The beef jus will take a minimum 2 hours to make. We will roast off the bones first with half an onion, kind of get those caramelized up, and then we'll transfer everything over to a pot and let that start to simmer on the stovetop. If we find that it's not beefy enough later on, we can add just a little bit of the store-bought beef broth. I mean, the one that I use is organic. It's very, very nice. So I'm not really afraid of using that. And then the salad will take about 30 minutes to make. Obviously, we have to roast the corn and peppers under the broiler to get some char happening, aka Flava Flav. So ingredients, there's quite a few today. Let's start with our beef. So I picked up a whole strip loin today. That's what's sitting on the oven right now. So let's just take a look at this. So this is the little chunk that I cut off today that we're going to use. This is actually the proper side that you want to cut off if you're going to be doing a roast style of strip loin. And then the other end here is what we're going to be cutting steaks out of. We're not going to be making the steaks today on stream, but Sammy and I will process this up later on after dinner. I don't think we'll have time. And then I trimmed up the top so that the fat is really nice and smooth. And that way, when we go to sear it later, you're not gonna have like splotchy sear patches. You want this to just be like one smooth thing so that it gets one even sear in the pan. Salad again, Jim. Yeah, as I bring out this huge strip loin. And if you look at this side, you can see that's gonna be like such a nice steak. We will be trimming off this part where it's like super fatty, and we'll probably get a steak that's like quite big. And you can see where they kind of fudged up the fat cap here, which is not the best thing, but we'll deal with it. And you can also see there is a little bit of silver skin there. So it's totally up to you. You can either completely clean off the fat from the strip loin, or you can leave it on. Whatever you guys want as your steak. So I just wanted to show you that. And then this little end piece here, I also cut off, and that we will use in our jus. I'm just gonna set that aside for now, and then we'll finish going over everything else. Super fatty is the way to go, of course. That was a mistake cut, totally steampunk. I am judging that butcher for sure. It's like, why would you do that? Okay, so that is our sirloin, or strip loin, sorry, that we're going to be using. And then I will season that up with salt and pepper before it goes in the sous vide. You don't want to do this too early because it will kind of cure the meat if you leave it too long in the bag. You'll take yours medium well done. That's fair. That's fair, Extinction. Strip loins are still good if they're cooked a little bit more well. Okay, so for the jus, I'm going to be using about 2 to 3 pieces of beef bones. Look for ones that have a lot of marrow in it, or the knuckle, which has a lot more gelatin. So either one works. I was able to pick up these guys in the frozen section at the store. So they're already kind of cut up, which is nice, which means the marrow should roast up really nice. And this was $6. So they're quite inexpensive if you want to make your own broth and stuff at home. Hello, helicopter. How are you? It's okay, guys. We don't judge people on their steak donenesses. Everyone's got to eat, and everyone has certain preference. The fact that they're still eating beef is better than them being a vegan. Okay, so to go with our beef bones, you saw that little bit of beef trim that we will also be throwing in to get roasted up. That will create a lot of flavor, having the fat caramelized in the oven. And then I'll just rough chop half an onion to get roasted as well. And then when everything goes into the pot with water, we will put in 2 to 3 sprigs of fresh herbs. So I picked thyme and rosemary to go into that. You could also do parsley if you have it. Then we'll just cover it with cold water and let that go for about 2 hours, just simmering. And then, like I said, as you need it, maybe you'll add a little bit of beef broth into it at the end, depending on how the flavor is, and maybe some salt and pepper. Steampunk, you judge. Yeah, medium well is hamburger. Oh, now I want a burger. So good. Flaming Delta, thanks for the follow, welcome. So truffled mushrooms. I have 1.5 pounds of cremini mushrooms today that we're going to just slice up. And then we'll use the other half of onion julienne. And the onion will get cooked in the pan first, so it kind of caramelizes. And then we'll add in a couple cloves of garlic minced, as well as the mushrooms. And then we'll add all of the rest of the herbs here. So a couple sprigs of thyme, a little bit of rosemary. I picked some more fresh sage from the garden for this as well. Mushrooms pair really, really nice with strong herbs. You hate mushrooms, Jim? You cray. Yes, Extinction, make those burgers. But you have to post them though. Truman Show, thanks for the follow. And then to cook our mushrooms, we're gonna start with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. And then when we throw the mushrooms into the pan, we'll add a little bit of butter. And that will give us a lot more flavor. And then right at the end is when we're going to truffle them, AKA just add a little bit of truffle oil. So about a teaspoon, maybe even less. You don't need a lot of this stuff. It is very potent, and you don't want to like over truffle something because it won't be very tasty after that. Jim's calling the cops. There's mushrooms on his burger. Truman, you love food. So do I. I love cooking. I love eating. I love playing with ingredients. Okay, on to our roasted corn and pepper salad. So we need 8 ears of corn. We're gonna cut the kernels off. This is what I was able to pick up at Costco. I've had this brand before and it's really nice and sweet. It's like a peaches and cream variety. And then I have this bag of baby bell peppers, which we'll cut up. I said we need about 8 of these in the recipe, which I think is pretty accurate to what's in the bag. Have I gone mushroom hunting? No, I have not gone foraging yet. But I know there are a couple contacts here on the island that I can easily go with, so I should start doing that for sure. And then to go in our salad, obviously we'll need a head of lettuce. We'll wash that up And then our herbs, I'm gonna do a little bit of green onion sliced thin and then just chopped cilantro and dill. And I also just decided to put basil in too. I think that'll be really yummy and fresh. I know, how can you hate buttery fried mushrooms? They don't even taste like anything. They just taste like butter. And then our dressing for the salad. So we're gonna do olive oil, some limes juiced, and 1 zested, so we get that like nice zing from the lime. If we need it, we'll use some apple cider vinegar for a little bit more acid, and then some ground cumin and ground coriander, a little bit of hot sauce. We're gonna spice it up a bit, and then a clove of garlic, and that should be it. And then we'll just shake that up in the container, and we should be good to go. And then the bread recipe I'm using is from King Arthur flour. It's a really, really good recipe. I've used it a couple times. And it's just called Classic Baguettes. And I used my sourdough starter in it. So it's gonna be really flavorful. You go in the Washington rainforest just across from me? Yes. Yes, steampunk. Port Angeles. That's amazing. So let's quickly get into what a French dip is. What do we got for time? Yeah, we're still good. And then we will get into sous-vide and roasting. Of course you can post a picture. I'm pretty sure all links and everything like that is acceptable. Again, I changed it. King Arthur was a cool dude. His round table politics, though, that's another thing. So in American cuisine, the French dip sandwich, also known as a beef dip, is a hot sandwich consisting of thinly sliced roast beef, or sometimes other meats, which I don't understand that. I don't think it would be a beef dip then, on a French roll or a baguette. So we're just gonna make small individual size baguettes today for the roll. I mean, I guess you could also make a large baguette and just cut it in half if you wanted to. Hey, Zyrix. I'm doing good. How are you? Happy Friday. And then this baguette is usually served topped with Swiss cheese, so I'm using provolone instead. Onions and a side of sauce, also called au jus, which means with the juice from the roast beef. Beef broth or beef consomme is sometimes substituted depending on where you eat it. So sometimes they like to cheap out. Oh man, Jim. Okay, I'm checking it out. That's a forest where you are, Jim? I like it. Those are some tall trees. Hello, Nemesis. How are you?
No.
What?
Posh.
No? Put the meat on the pan, please. Not yet, Zyrix. It's going in the sous vide. Oh, don't worry. I won't forget to salt it. So, despite the name of being called a French dip, the American specialty is completely unknown in France itself. The name seeming to refer to the style of bread rather than an alleged French origin. Yeah, it is a super cool picture. I was like kind of freaked out. I was like, is that little person in it gonna like pop out and scare me or something? I'm like, is this a trick, Jim? I never know what you're gonna put up. And although the sandwich is most commonly served with a cup of jus or broth on the side of the plate, into which the sandwich is then dipped, this is not how the sandwich was served when it was invented. Hello, Mies. How are you? Sorry, Zyrix. I'm already taken. Straight marinated. Now Jim's gonna post a photo that's gonna scare the heck out of me. Same place, but winter. Nice. That's even like a lot creepier. It looks like something out of Game of Thrones. Like, where are the White Walkers? Yummies, it's Friday. It's going good, Mies. It's going really good. I'm excited that this is my last stream for the week. And we have a long weekend here. I don't know if you guys have like a May long weekend. But Sammy doesn't work Monday, so we're going to do some exploring this weekend. So the 2 Los Angeles restaurants have claimed to be the birthplace of the French dip sandwich. One is called Cole's Pacific Electric Buffet, fancy, and Philip the Original. So Philip's website describes the dish as a specialty of the house, and the words home of the original French dip sandwich are present in the restaurant's logo. At Philip's, the roll is dipped in the hot beef juices before the sandwich is assembled and is served wet. I don't think I would enjoy that very much because I'm not like huge into soggy bread unless it's in a French onion soup. And then while at Cole's, it is served with a side of the beef juices. So that's how we're going to present it today. The sandwich can also be requested double dipped at either establishment. So like super wet, I guess. I don't know. I don't think that would be very pleasing. Like, I think you need that crunch of the bread. Vioon, I just saw you popped in here. How are you? Both restaurants feature their own brand of spicy mustard that is also traditionally used by patrons to complement the sandwich. Super soggy beef bread. It probably wouldn't be too bad, Dante. The controversy over who originated the sandwich remains unresolved. Both restaurants were established in 1908. However, Cole's claims to have originated the sandwich shortly after the restaurant opened, while Phillips claims that the owner invented it in 1918. You'd still devour it, of course. Of course you would. Okay, Jim, I'm checking your other one. Oh, that's your Flickr. What? You have some amazing photos, dude. Like, really, really cool. So the story of the sandwich's invention by Phillips has several variants. Some sources say that it was first created by a cook or a server who, while preparing the sandwich for a police officer or a fireman, accidentally dropped it into a pan of meat drippings. Not the meat drippings. The patron liked it. I can't believe they still serve it. They're like, I'm sorry, but I dropped this in something. The patron liked it, and the dish surged in popularity shortly after its invention. Other accounts say that a customer who didn't want some meat drippings to go to waste requested his sandwich be dipped in them. Still, others say that a chef dipped a sandwich into a pan of meat drippings after a customer complained that the bread was stale. Cole's account states that the sandwich was invented by a sympathetic chef for a customer who was complaining of sore gums, so he couldn't really eat anything crunchy. And then some accounts tell Philip's version of events, but assign the location to Cole's. So no one really knows what's going on. The mystery of the sandwich's invention might not be solved due to a lack of information and observable evidence. The French dip is now served at a number of restaurant chains, including fast food places, diners, and standard restaurants. Very cool. I think that's a pretty interesting story, hey? Extinction, I'm gonna check yours. Checking all the photos. What? Oh, all you linked was amazing photos. One up him. Waiting for the salads, Jim. Don't worry, they're not gonna be made till later. Okay, so order of prep. We made the baguette dough at 1 p.m. So that's been chilling, and we'll check it at around 3:30. And then we should be able to divide it by that point, and then we'll let it rest for almost another 2 hours before we bake it. And next up, what we're gonna do is put the strip loin in the sous vide, and then the roast beef bones are gonna go in the oven to roast for the jus. After that, we'll prep the corn and the peppers for roasting so they can go in right after the beef bones. And then we should be able to divide our baguette dough by that point. Make the jus on the stovetop, roast our corn and peppers, and then prep our salad and dressing. And then lastly, we'll prep up our truffled mushrooms. And at that point, we should be around like 5:10 p.m., which the bread should go in that oven at that point because it bakes for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's nice and crispy. Then at 5:15, we'll start to cook our truffled mushrooms. They should take about 20 to 30 minutes, I would say, depending on how fast we cook them. And 5:30, we should be taking the beef out of the sous vide. Then we'll dry it off, and then we can start to sear it in the cast iron pan. 5:45, we'll assemble the sandwiches, finish our beef jus. So we have to strain it and then add any broth if we need. And then 6 o'clock, broil the sandos just under the oven to melt the cheese. And then we're gonna serve everything. So today's gonna go by pretty fast, I think. Pretty fast. And just so you guys know, today's the day where I pick the top cheer and top donator of the week. There is no top donator of the week yet so far. So if you want to wait till the end of the stream, you can donate like $2 if you want to. You can just lowball it and request a meal. Or you might start a bidding war. But so far Tristan's in the lead with his biddies there. And maybe he will let one lucky viewer pick his meal. We'll see, I guess. He hasn't come in yet though, so I'm not sure what's going on. So let's get our beef over here and we shall season it up. And then just so you guys know, my Anova sous vide is heating up at 130 Fahrenheit. So that's mid-rare temp. Okay. And then real quick, this is where my bread has been proofing in like a nice warm oven. So I'm gonna take that out and then we can heat up our oven for roasting the bones. So 425 Fahrenheit. I'm just gonna take this piece of meat. It's actually really nice. You can see some good marbling. This is Canada AAA. So the only kind of imperfection here is there's a little bit of gristle right there on the side, but I'm hoping that it breaks down while cooking slowly. Otherwise, we can kind of just trim that off before we slice it later. Let me just wash my hands. Just a bit of gristle. Yeah, it's a really nice cut of strip loin. I'm happy about that. And that whole piece of meat cost me, I think it was around $140 for all of that. But like I said, it's like AAA Canadian beef, so it's really nice. So let's start by seasoning up our fat cap really generously, and then we should probably do all sides of the meat just because it is so large. So just get a nice even layer over everything, starting with the salt. Just imagine that this is cut into steaks and think about how much salt you would need to probably season like 5 different steaks. No, not $139.99, Jim. Right on 140. Come on, man. Yeah, charge 20 bucks a steak, solid return. Yeah, if you costed that out with how many steaks you could cut out of it, it's very worth it to buy your meat in bulk like this and cut it yourself. And it's not hard. And in this day and age, you can pretty much Google or YouTube anything that you don't know how to do. So let's just press this salt and pepper in, and then we'll flip it over, do the other side. Yeah, $139.99 would be a steal. Okay, so some of the salt came off. I'm just gonna press it down. So hopefully it sticks to the bottom. It did. Yeah, where is Trist? I know he's been having a couple issues with some of his rental properties, and he's also selling the house that he's in. So maybe he's busy with like property stuff. Hopefully he'll pop in soon though. I'm pretty sure he would love this. But at the same time, he would be telling me to cut off all the fat right now. So maybe it's a good thing he's not here yet. He's rich. Yeah, he has some moolah. Factual flow, holy. Yeah, that's right, you haven't watched in a while. You're so sorry. I forgive you, come on. How could I be mad? People got lives. Gotta make that money. Yeah, it would totally be a sin to cut any of this fat off. So let's do the other side here. Vune? What? Are you pulling my leg? Oh, I just seen it. 1516. Thank you. I don't know why the heck that didn't show up because everything else has been working. Vune, thank you so much. You know I'm going to make you request a meal for that. Hopefully no one else beats it. I need to know what you like to eat. This is a thing. You do not joke about money, no. It was small text, weird. Where am I at? Out for the May 2-4? No, Flo, I moved. This is the new spot. So we have a little bit of salt and pepper down here. I'm gonna try and move it up. You know the conversion rate. Canada's dollar is so bad right now. It's almost embarrassing. Thank you so much, Vune. Seriously. You better start thinking about what you want. Okay, so salt and pepper has been put on all sides of this piece of meat. So now we need to just put it into a Ziploc bag. And we can add a couple aromatics to this as well. So like you can throw in a couple garlic cloves smashed or a couple sprigs of herbs. So I'm thinking I want to do that. But when it comes to adding like any extra fats that you think would be good, like butter, it's actually not worth it. Like, don't waste that because it might change the taste of the beef. I cut this to like hopefully fit in the bag perfectly, which I'm pretty sure it will. School lunch is ready. It's true, Jim. That would be like the most epic school lunch ever. Man, if I went to school and said I was eating like sous-vide strip loin, can't even imagine what would happen. Like, technology, holy, hey? Raw meat. Just make up some tartare. Flo, you got some roasted chicken and potato salad. Yum. What is a gumbo? A gumbo is a southern style soup that has okra and like a really dark roux in it. It's like very, it's like a little bit spicy. There's like lots of spices in it though. So this is going into the sous vide, which is actually just chilling behind me over there. Hello, sous vide, how are you? Yeah, it's deliciousness in a pot. Childish Gambino. Yeah, that is America, for sure. Let's see if I don't overflow this thing. Please don't. Okay, and to get the rest of the air out of this bag, you simply just open up a corner and then push it almost all the way down in the water, and that will push out any air that's left. And of course I would get some salt into it so it doesn't close. Come on. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, we good. It's been zipped and locked. Now all we have to do is say, see you later. See you later, boof. America that. Okay, so we can check that off our list. Next up is just prepping our beef bones. So I'm gonna line a sheet pan with parchment. What is this contraption? That is called a sous-vide. And I'm using an Anova one. We've had this for 3 or 4 years already, and it's amazing. Check it out. I think I have it linked in my Amazon gear on my channel page as well. Fiscal, thanks for the couple biddies. How are you? It looks like the inside of your old weed grinder. What? So we want the little bit of beef trim that we got off of the strip loin. So this is just like an end fat cap with a little bit of meat. So let's roast those actually fat side up for now. And then this is just a bunch of fat that I trimmed off the top of it. So I'm just gonna spread that out, and then that will kind of caramelize with the onions and the bones. We're gonna keep it on the bottom of the pan just so it doesn't burn too quick. And then that will also go into the broth. Yum. I'm good, Fiscal. Thanks for asking. Any good way to cook this if you don't have a sous vide? I would simply just roast it in the oven, like a prime rib roast or whatever style of beef roast you usually cook, and it should work no problem. Nice low and slow, like you don't want to go over 325 Fahrenheit. And then it'll probably take a good 2 to 3 hours as well. And then you won't have to sear it up after. it'll kind of just caramelize in the oven as you roast it. So that's like the very simple way. I've never done a piece of meat like this in the sous vide yet, so I'm very excited to try it. So we're just gonna spread out our beef bones over our tray. This is all the marrow, so that's gonna roast up really nice. Give us a lot of good beefy flavor in our broth. And dogs love this. Like if I gave this to Posh right now, she would go crazy. Just be careful how much marrow you give your dog because it might upset their stomach a bit. They might poop on your floor, so maybe check that first. You got your miner's au jus prep today? Yes, I was thinking about you, Rook. So one more hand wash, and then we'll cut up some onion, and then this stuff is ready to go into the oven. We have about half an hour left until we can divide our baguette dough. Lit beef, lit stream. Thanks, Albus. How are you? Are those bones boneless? Are you crazy, helicopter? Oh, guess what, guys? We totally forgot to add the aromatics in our beef. Let me just take that sprig of thyme. Couple things of rosemary. Our oven's ready for our bones. Water is wet. No way, Jim. I'm shocked right now. Yeah, you did, Rook. I'm gonna get you every time with that. See, you can entertain me as well. Are these bones gluten-free? Yes. Yes, they are. Okay, just quickly putting this in the bag with the beef. Hopefully it doesn't get too upset with me. Waking it up from its nap. Please don't be mad. Making a mess. Okay, we're good. We are good. You didn't even have your oven on and you're still like, oh crap. Classic. Hello, clapped. What is going on? Did someone say onion? So we don't even really have to worry about peeling that off for the broth because it's going to be strained out anyways. And surprisingly, onion skin does have quite a bit of flavor still in it. So like when we make beef stocks and stuff in the kitchens, we always just leave the onion skin on and it does not affect anything. So we're just gonna rough chop this and then scatter it over the sheet pan. I'm gonna cry. No. Okay, maybe. I feel it already. I will not cry. I will not get emotional on this Friday. Yes, helicopter. There it is. There's the onion we've all been looking for. Okay, like that. I think we're good. It's just in little chunks everywhere. Yeah, don't cry. Don't do it. Keep your emotions in check, Kate. I'm trying. They're like a little bit watery, but we'll be okay, I think. Okay, that's gonna go in the oven. Let's set a timer for 15 minutes and then we'll toss it up at that point, just so it can brown really nice and evenly. Boom. Okay, we're crushing it. So next up, let's prep our corn and peppers for roasting. How are we doing for time? It's 3:15. We're still good. We have about 15 minutes until we check on the dough. And then probably divide it at that point. Just gonna grab a couple of bowls. Real quick, I'm just gonna run and put the rest of the strip loin into the fridge because I don't want it to sit out. BRB helicopter, he's having a shower. It's getting squeaky clean. Okay, let's go. The cabinet door moved. No, it didn't. Don't play me like that. I don't want no ghosts in here. I'm gonna open the window right now too. All of the smells are gonna start happening. Okay, so a good way to do this is obviously to first just take all the strings off of the corn, if this is how you buy them. Otherwise, if you buy them in the husk, you have to take that all off first. And then I always like to cut it in the bowl, but I don't want to use my super expensive knife. So I'm gonna go with my OG. And then this way when you cut it, it doesn't just fly everywhere. Should be good. Just be careful when you go to the bottom because you don't want to cut metal on a piece of glass bowl. Yeah, buttered corn. just hold it and finish the ends. Like that. This can't end well. It'll be okay, Steampunk. What are you talking about? You don't trust my abilities? Come on. If you were trying to do it, just do it slowly and then you won't mess it up. I mean, I can do it on the cutting board if you're terrified. It'll be faster. That's what people said when they elected Trump. So bad. But just this way, it's gonna start to fly everywhere. We're gonna have corn in places that we don't want corn. Hey, Dan. How are you? Trump porn? What? Never. It's true, it saves the bowl, a knife, and your means. We'll be okay, Steampunk. Do this together. Guys, we're not talking about politics today. Always puts everyone in a bad mood. Yeah, okay, Jim. Get all the corn hairs off. Corny hair. Yeah, religion and politics, the worst. What, Dan? Okay, when are you coming? Let's do it. See you guys, first visitor. He's gonna beat Steve to it. Corn everywhere. Good thing I have a doggo to vacuum for me, though. Rush! Hi, Rush. You bounce for a bit. Don't bounce, Steampunk. We're not going there. Not even. How is Mr. Rush today? And how is baby Thomas? Is he being good? Is he sleeping good? I'm doing good, Rush. Thanks for asking. Excited that it's Friday. I'm ready for the weekend. August, you're going to Alberta. What? Where? And that's not super close to me. I'm like on the very edge of Western Canada. His sleep pattern's a bit off. It's true, yeah, you can't have it all. Maybe he'll get better. He's still getting used to things. Calgary and maybe Edmonton. Nice, that's where I grew up. You have a specific reason for going? Your sleep pattern's worse, helicopter? Why? Why are you bad to yourself? He'll be wiping whiskey over his lips. I like those old school tricks. Not opposed to that. That's what the grandmas do. You sleep at 4 a.m. and wake up at 2. You gotta change that, man. You gotta just like stay up for one whole day and switch your patterns around. Okay, this is definitely gonna be a lot of corn salad. But it's okay, I like snacks. Salad snacks are always good. Yeah, I don't live in Vancouver. I live on Vancouver Island. I moved here from Vancouver. Oh, you're just going because? Well, that's cool. Sure, you'll enjoy those places. It's very flat, unless you're deciding to go to the mountains. Jimmy Snacks, yes. That is much more accurate. Although after seeing all your photos, Jim, I don't know. Because you also like to snap. For non-Canadians, can you explain the geo? Well, I mean, Edmonton is very flat. Obviously, there's a little bit of hills. It has a nice river valley with lots of trails in it. And then Calgary is a little bit closer to the mountains, so it's quite hilly there. And then obviously it's not as far of a drive if you want to go somewhere like Banff to check that out. But both places are like very spread out, so there will be a lot of driving involved, is all I'm going to tell you. Have I had mods in? Death was here, Rush. Don't know where he is. Rook was here as well, but I'm guessing he's doing some work still on this Friday. Or he's prepping dinner or something. But so far, it's just been us regulars chatting. We've been okay, man. That's true, Dan. It's very true. What strip loin, Rush? Well, it's already in the sous vide. I showed it earlier, the piece that I cut off from like the entire piece of meat that took up my cutting board. It's like a roast size cut. And then it's gonna cook for 2 to 3 hours, depending on how we do today. And then we'll sear it up real quick in the cast iron pan after, just to caramelize the fat and stuff on the outside. And then we threw in a couple of cloves of garlic and some rosemary and thyme into the bag with it, just to season it while it cooks in the sous vide. Okay, there's all our corn. Let me just wipe up this little mess that I made. And then we'll move on to the peppers. Actually, no, we won't. That's a lie. Because we gotta divide the baguette dough. We got to make the baguettes. Oh, nice, Dan. You've only ever been to Toronto in 2009. Well, I'm sure it has changed a lot since then. Okay. that's all cleaned up. It's smelling really good in here from the beef roasting. The difference between driving in Europe or in USA compared to Canada is there's not as many food places in the long drives. You'll find some good places along the road. I think it's gotten better. What, Vune? Why was it so sticky? Yeah, that sounds crazy. Oh, it smells so beefy in here. I love it. Okay, let's check it. Give it a little tossy toss, pretty sure. Oh man. Let me get the fan on. The fat is melting really nicely though. Like, look at this already. Got some browning action. Toss the onions around. Turn these bones over. We're getting it going. We're doing bad things in here today. Bad things. Okay, now that can go back into the oven for another 15. Probably have about half an hour left on this, depending on how fast it roasts up. You always soak whole corn for an hour before you put on the grill? Yes, that's a good way to do it. Every gas place didn't even have Jack Daniels. Yes, so a lot of the provinces have their own kind of laws with the liquor companies and stuff like that, or the liquor stores. So some places are private, some places are public. Depends on where you go. But like mostly in Ontario, why am I starting this? I need to take this out. In Ontario, the beer store is like just has beer, and then the liquor store has the rest of the alcohols. It's very weird. Let's check this. It should be doubled in size. They don't have Jack Daniels and you're having din. It's a sad day for Dan. Hello, dough. How are you today? So it's quite sticky. You guys can see that. Probably will need just a little bit of flour, and I'm going to divide this into 6. So we need to gently deflate it first. Then we'll divide it up into 6. And then we will kind of roll it out into baguette style loaves. Hello, Liz. How's it going? You don't drink? I'm not a huge drinker, to be honest. I like to drink different things. Like I don't always like drink one thing. I like to try different beers or ciders or cocktails. But like sometimes I'm just not feeling it. Just trying to make a little bit more room here for myself. Oh no, you're getting sick? Ugh, it's the time of year though for it, for sure. I'm doing good. Yeah, no sickness here, thankfully. But I know quite a few people are sick right now, so I am sad for you. Try making a really good ginger tea with like lemon and mint and honey. That always makes me feel better. This is a sticky dough. Feels really nice though. Gluten is developed really good. And then there's our bowl. It's quite clean. Obviously I scraped it out. So let's put a little bit of flour on top as well, just so we can work with it a little bit easier. Yeah, you stayed home from work, so you had a nice quiet Friday. Nothing worse than incompetent coworkers. Yay, good. Good, he'll take care of you then. Ginger and other goodies. Yum, Rook. That sounds so good. Sausage, steaks, ground beef, and venison. That's the way to do it. Just buy it in bulk. Okay, just gonna make sure this is pretty much all coated in flour before I start to divide it. Kind of shape it out as well, so it gets nice and evenly cut. So we need 6 little baguette doughs. What places have I been out of Canada? Well, I've traveled quite a bit of Europe. Let's just divide this in half first, and then I'll cut 3 portions out of each side. Yeah, I did a Europe trip, I think it was 3 years ago now. I started in France, went to the UK, did Belgium and the Netherlands for a couple days, and then flew to Italy and did Spain. And actually, sorry, I missed, my flight was actually stopped in Iceland, so I got to experience that as well, which was super cool. That was unexpected. They were having a strike or something at that time. I think I just need to put this with this guy. And I've done Thailand, Bali, and Laos, so Southeast Asia. And then for the States, I've done Vegas, San Diego. I went to Bellingham, which is like just over the border here. I'm gonna clear this flour off now. I think that's it. Whoa, it was all free, Rook. That's amazing. What's the best way to do it? Oh, I love Europe, Dan. Like 100% I would live there instead of living here. I just felt right at home there. My favorite place in Europe, I'm quite sure it was Barcelona or Amsterdam. So to fold these up is I just press them down a little bit, push the air out, and we're gonna do a couple of folds. So you wanna go almost all the way over to the other edge, press it down, and then flip it around, and then take the other edge and press it into the other side. Make sure it's pressed down really nice. Don't be really scared. And then for the ends, I'm just gonna flip them in. And press those down as well. And then we can kind of shape our baguette like this. I'm gonna try and make more of like a sandwich loaf style than a traditional baguette with like the twisted ends. So you should get something that looks like that. Yeah, Spain was so good. Like the food was awesome. The people were so nice. And then I kind of felt the same with Amsterdam. And obviously I love Italian food, but the people there aren't as friendly. That's what I gotta say. And it's the same with France as well. Oh, don't worry, Dan. I already have my European. My boyfriend was born in Germany. And I'm quite sure if we go visit there one day, it's going to be very hard to leave. People aren't friendly in New York. I mean, that's the same as Vancouver as well. Everyone's just like too worried about money that they don't give a crap about anything else. It was really bad living there, I have to say. Like, the only good people I really met were people that I worked with. How are people in Calgary? Well, I'm gonna say this, like, most Canadians are very, very polite. And most love tourists. Keyword most. It's like quite rare to have like a bad experience if you go somewhere. Trying to make sure this does not stick to the counter, because that would be sad. Oh, you'll be fine, Dan. You'll be okay. We're doing well, Dante. I think I'm doing well with these little buns here. Just kind of playing around. Get your bread knife and go, Bruce Lee. Actually, funny you mentioned that. So I guess in the city here, Victoria, on the island, that's like the major city, is somebody yesterday was going around on like a rampage with a sports bat and like whacking people on the street and running away. So like 6 people were seriously injured before they caught this guy. Like, what is this world coming to, honestly? Like, you can't go anywhere now without like worrying about your safety. This is the fun part, Dante. I love working with bread dough. Definitely not scary anymore. You have to go back to work in the morning for a 10-second programming challenge. What, Rook? Oh, you forgot to reset the time on a controller. Dang, man. Yeah, that's some wasted time. The worst. Yeah, what the F for sure, Steampunk. I was like, if I was around this person, I for sure would have like chased them down the street. And if I would have caught up to them, I for sure would have done something. Like, that stuff bugs me so much. 'Cause it's like, are people just like watching this happen, or are they actually like, trying to do something about it? So I'm going to try and fit as many of these onto my baguette pan. Hopefully I can fit all of them. And then those are going to finish proofing in this for about 2 hours, or until around 5:10. I think we can squeeze this one in here. Yay, they actually all fit. And I'm just going to cover those with a tea towel, and we'll see them in a little bit. And obviously you want to keep these in a pretty warm place. You're gonna go Bret Hart. Yeah, it's hard when you have an awesome bakery, it's true. So I'm gonna proof these just on the stove top because it's nice and warm from us roasting stuff in the oven. And then I'm just gonna clean up the flour there and we'll move on with our peppers and all of the stuff that we need to roast. Steampunk, you like your bakery bread? There's not very many good bakeries here. And if there are, they're super expensive. So that's why I just choose to make my own. Plus I like practicing. I mean, every time it's always different. Yay, Liz. Yeah, it's honestly not as scary as people think. Bread dough is like quite forgiving. I think we're gonna do another toss on our bones and stuff before we start the peppers, because I did not reset that timer. But it's 3:45, so it's already been 15 minutes. What, Dan? Is that real? That's impressive. When you were 17, you were like brave and you didn't care, hey? You're just like, I'm going in. He doesn't give a heck what's happening. Bread is all about the crust. There have been no truer words. If you don't like bread crust, well then you're doing it wrong. Yum. Okay, that might be as far as we take it. Our onions are browning up quite well. And so is our fat. He snatched his lunchbox and whacked him with it. Oh, shoot. Okay, I have to be careful with this. There's quite a bit of beef fat in the bottom. Honestly, guys, I think I'm happy with that. I don't want to go too much darker with the onions because then it'll start to taste burnt. And then you can see how this fat has roasted up super nice. So has the beef underneath. So we can put this into the pot and let's get our stock going, or our broth. You once kicked a girl in her privates. You guys. I've never done anything like that before. I've been like waiting for someone to swing at me, but I'll never take the first swing. Come on, come at me. Let's keep it clean. Yeah, has everyone been watching WWE? Chief, what have you done to my viewers? Yes, Steampunk, you gotta make some beef broth. Okay, let's carefully pour this into the pot. It smells even better though, Steampunk. We're like halfway to making a French onion soup almost. Liz is brutal. I love it. Liz, I will live through you. I like your style. Kicking a girl in her privates. Okay, so now, watch all the fat pour into here. And we'll skim that off later, but that's where a lot of the flavor is. gonna leave that in for now. You were 12? I love it. Complete savage. Just gonna fold that up and it's gonna go into the composter. And I'm just gonna rinse all of the beef fat off. Because we're gonna use, actually no, we don't need this sheet pan. We shouldn't need it. I got an extra there. Okay, so now we will peel up our carrot. Put it in there as well. And we'll get to making our broth. Wrong drawer. I'm lost in my own kitchen. I don't think I'll trade you the boudin, Rook. Not a huge fan of it. I don't like anything that really tastes irony like that. But maybe, man, maybe. Oh, like roasted marrow bones? I've never actually cooked that. But I have had it out at like a really nice restaurant. It's very, very rich. Because you're like literally just eating the beef fat. So if you can handle really rich things, you would love it. Otherwise, you'd probably get grossed out after a couple of spoonfuls. But it's super tasty. So we're just rough chopping the carrots. Oh, smoked. See, I would probably eat that, Rook. Because it would take away from some of the iron flavor. Marrow and grate bread. Yes, exactly. So it was like super crusty bread that was toasted up. Just soaked in all of the beef marrow. Okay, we're going to put a couple sprigs of thyme in here for some aromatics, a little bit more rosemary, because you want to kind of mimic the flavors of the roast beef, right? Let's do a sage leaf and then a couple cloves of garlic. Oh yeah, you need like that crunch or that snap in the sausage casing if you're smoking it. Totally feeling ya. I probably have never had legit boudin, but I trust you, man. Okay, all we gotta do now is cover this with cold water. We're good to go. Easy peasy. And you just want to simmer it. And having the cold water go in first is going to keep your jus really nice and clear. Otherwise, if you add hot water to this, it's going to bring out all of the impurities from the bones. And it's going to go more of a cloudy color. No, Liz. I'm actually planning on doing it for Canada Day. So July 1st. If I can make it to then. Otherwise, I might have to make it sooner. Because I do love me some poutine. Poutine. There we are. Just take that off for now. Let's start like medium high just to bring it up to the simmer, and then we'll turn it down ASAP. You've never had poutine? It's so good. If you like dirty fries with gravy and cheese on them, you'll be okay. I'm pretty picky about my poutine though. Like, I need to make sure that most of the fries are crispy, otherwise it just gets too soggy. You need that texture contrast. And I'm more of like a thick fry person rather than the shoestring style, just because they hold up better. In Texas, you just put fried chicken in a baked potato and cover it with cheese and gravy. Oh my God. 2, 4, 6, 8. Ooh, what do we got there? I think it was just like a leaf from the peppers. We'll do 8 peppers. And we're just going to halve them and take out the cores for now. My compost is getting full up. Let me just grab a bag. Nothing worse than soggy fries. Yes, steampunk. You feeling me? You do not like to eat, yeah, soggy fries. That's a nope. The F was that? Something's popping on the stove. I don't like it. Sleeping kitten. Welcome in. I know these baby bells are my favorite. They're super nice and sweet. Hey, what the F is happening over here? There must have just been a little bit of water on the bottom of the pot. And then we're gonna roast these in the halves, skin side up, so they get a little bit of char. And then we'll cut them down smaller afterwards. Just keeping them larger will ensure that they char up evenly, and then they won't burn. Oh, you don't like to eat bell peppers? What? And I love bell peppers. All right, well, there's that.
That's good then.
Yeah. Guys, I've been trying to deal with like my address forwarding stuff since we moved. I'm having some difficulties. I did everything online and then it didn't work, saying that I had to go prove my identity at the post office, but I just got mail forwarded, so I don't know what's going on now. Confusing. Yeah, see, I don't love green peppers, but all of the sweet ones are totally my jam. Aw, thanks, Steampunk. It's very generous of you. A lot of people are picky with peas. And usually when I talk to someone that doesn't like peas, it's because they were too mushy when they had them originally. It's the meat of them. That makes sense. Oh, I'm not even done here. I'm getting ahead of myself. And I am knocking all of the seeds out. Yeah, we don't like mushy peppers. That's why we're going to roast these under the broiler. So we just char the skin. And that way they'll still be a little bit crunchy. So skin side up, and then we'll just dress them with a little bit of olive oil. You don't want too much because putting it under the broiler, it may actually burn. And you don't want to start a fire either. Yeah, the Brits and their mushy peas. We will blame them. Maybe we should spread these out just a bit more. Why not? Get all of the surface area. Like that. Putting those aside for a sec. And then this is going to be our pan for the corn. Yes, these are sweet peppers, rechainable, and hello. Hello, hello. The pea thing is kind of like the beet thing. Yes, I know. It's like all of these vegetables have been ruined for people because they've been just overcooked. Where that's why I always like to serve mine like al dente, I guess, with a little bit of bite still. And I feel like that way they're just so much more appealing. Except you like pea soup, steampunk. It's true though, yeah, pea soup is good with ham. So let's spread this out into as even as a layer as possible, and we'll probably have to toss the corn 1 or 2 times while we broil it, just because it's not quite one even layer. It's like a little bit stacked up on itself. I know, I should start cooking for my neighbors, hey? One of them is an 85-year-old lady who pretty much refuses to leave her house. Never met her though. I've only seen her. And like typically her daughter is always there, helping with the yard and stuff. I kind of feel bad. And then my other neighbors on the other side are tenants. They're a family. I think there's like 3 kids. And they have 2 dogs. They're interesting, let's just say that. I don't know if they deserve it, guys, but you guys all deserve it, for sure. You guys got some good palates. So just drizzling a bit of olive oil to help with the browning. And then as this roasts, we'll toss it kind of all over, but I'm not gonna toss it right away. Gonna let that soak up. Just going over to the peppers as well. I'm gonna rub their skin with the oil. Done, just washing my hands. You guys noticed how I didn't put any parchment underneath. And that's because the parchment would actually burn or actually light on fire if we put it under the broiler. Parchment's only good to about 450 Fahrenheit. Snap is here. Hello, can I get a snap, please? And then obviously, we got 2 trays, but the broiler is only on the top of the oven. So we'll have to do either the corn or the peppers first, and then we'll do the other tray afterwards. This is how you make popcorn. Yeah, if only the kernels were dried. So, the beef broth, I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe I need to turn on this light. It's just starting to come to a simmer. I'm gonna color is actually looking pretty good already, so let's turn it down so it doesn't boil. And the oven, let's switch to broil. I think we're doing really good time-wise still. It's just 4 o'clock now. We've already divided our baguette dough. The jus on the stovetop, easy. We're on to roasting the corn and peppers. So next up is prepping our salad and dressing. Yahtzee. How did the turd cookie come out? So good. If I was to be picky, the cookie slash cake little thing was a little bit dry, but obviously if you ate it with the fluff, the vanilla fluff, it was perfect. I destroyed a whole thing. I didn't eat it like right after dinner, but I kind of just like snacked on it throughout the night. So good. Do I ever eat any junk food? For sure, Liz. I really love popcorn. Pretty much seasoned with anything. I like the popcorn shakers and stuff like that. Or even just plain salt as well. It's gotta have butter on it though. And then I like chips too. I mean, I'm a junk food person. We actually have a junk food drawer. You guys wanna see some of the stuff that's in it. Like we got some Snappers. These are my favorite, all dressed chips. Hello. Pretty sure none of you guys, except the Canadians, have ever had these. I have a bunch of Oreos, some Girl Guide cookies, some candies. Most of this stuff is from Sam's mom. And she picks it up when she goes to the States. We even have some Speculoos cookie and cocoa swirl. That's my junk food. We got a drawer. What cameras am I using to stream? I'm using Logitech's C920 and a C922. Cinnamon bun Oreos. Yes, we have those in Canada. They're so good. I only have one drawer of junk food. I know when we lived in Vancouver, it was like the drawer made up like the whole island that I'm using right now, but now it's like half the size, which I think is a good thing. Death, 48 hours and it's gone. Okay, let's put our peppers in. Oh, I gotta put a tray on the top here. I took this out earlier because I was proofing the bread. And we'll check the peppers every couple of minutes, just to make sure they're not burning. How do you keep the seasoning like dried herbs from falling off the popcorn? Try putting the herbs inside along with the oil and you ended up burning them. I mean, typically I dress the popcorn bowl in like 2 layers. So I do 1 layer, drizzle on the butter or oil, whatever you're using, and then put on your seasonings so that they can stick onto the butter. But if you want to retry putting the herbs in the oil, just put them in at the very end and they should not burn. Like you don't need to really heat up the herbs for them to become fragrant. Yeah, it's the essences of the herb you want. But I mean, I never have an issue with stuff falling off if you butter everything first and then toss in your seasonings. Just you have to act a little bit fast because the butter hardens quite quickly at room temp. No problem, kitten. So I'm gonna get the lettuce out. We will wash that up and start prepping our salad and then our dressing. First need our salad bowl. Big Blue. Yeah, it's salad time, Jim. This is where you leave me. And the popcorn sucks up the butter, yes. Yes. I hear some sizzles from the oven. I'm gonna get so paranoid of hearing those things. It's like you just open the oven at some point and it's just everything's on fire. Oh yeah. I love salads. I love eating vegetables. Almost as much as I love eating meat. Okay, Vune. Yes, of course, Vune. I don't think anyone else is gonna one-up you, so I'm pretty stoked to hear what you come up with. DM me, man. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Probably not gonna see you over the weekend, so I'll wish you well right now. Hello, Uncle Stinky. How's it going? Okay, we're doing good. I'm just being paranoid. So the lettuce I use is organic. It's grown in Calgary, and it always comes with the root and everything still attached. So I always like to actually keep this, and I plant it in the garden, and we actually have lettuce already growing from it. It's been about a month, but the heads are about this big now, so it's almost ready to harvest. Just the only thing you have to watch, if you can somehow find these where you are, is don't cut too far down to the stem. You still need to leave a little bit of the greens. And that way they'll be able to regenerate. Like that. We got some good smells happening in here. Your lettuce comes in a bag from Mexico. I know, luckily I get to find these, and it's $5 for 2 heads of these. Plus I get 2 plants out of it, which is awesome. Make a deconstructed salad. I love it. Great suggestion. What do you got to say about that, Jim? What other veggies and plants do I grow? Oh, that's a question. Kate, we're still good. What? Sushi with the host. Thank you. This is a salad spinner. So there's holes everywhere, and then the lid actually turns everything, and then the water just flies off the lettuce as you spin it, and it collects in the bottom. And then you get dry lettuce for your salad. So we're growing in the garden this year. We have carrots, beets, beans, peas, Brussels sprouts, eggplant, squash, tomatoes, 5 different pepper plants. Let's take a couple of those out. I think that's it. Oh, radishes and asparagus, and then pretty much all of your like classic herbs. We're gonna have some pretty good harvest. Oh, plus the lettuces, I guess. Oh, and Swiss chard. I almost forgot the Swiss chard. I think that's it though. We love gardening, and it's so worth it. Boop. So now I just washed the lettuce in the bowl, and this thing just snaps on top. And then we just turn this. Yes, Jim. I literally got a meal plan updated about let's say every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on like how my body was looking. So some days I got like an awesome meal plan where I got to eat like a lot of food, and then other weeks I got like a really strict meal plan. But yeah, my coach always did up those plans for me, because that's what you pay for, right? Me too, kitten, me too. I am huge into that. Yay, Liz. Well, I'm glad you're learning. I mean, that's why I'm doing this. Peppers are about halfway there, I would say. Did he constantly text me? Never. Like, he said I was one of his best, I guess, clients, because I always followed the meal plan, and I wasn't, like, texting him being like, oh, I ate this today by accident. It's like, how can you eat something by accident? Like, why don't you just do what you're told? A plum tree, peach tree, pecan tree, figs, cactuses, and a cherry tree. That's amazing, kitten. I do love me some fruits. And pecans are like my favorite nut. Love them. So that's very cool. Jim, do you have a trainer now that's bugging you or what? The food just jumped in their mouth. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I accidentally ate this. I'm like, sorry, what? Not that the temptation wasn't there, like, every time I went to the store. But I actually, like, started to avoid going grocery shopping just because it was really hard near the end when my diet was super strict. Made me a little sad. That's why I don't do it anymore. It's honestly not worth it for me. I'd way rather cook and eat all of the things. Oh yeah. Okay, we're almost there. Caramelizing up nicely. Uncle Stinky made a delivery to a shop way out in the hills. Stopped at a ranch and butcher that had grass-fed beef and pigs raised on the property. Got 2 beautiful pork chops for $6? That's amazing. That's great. And I'm sure they're gonna taste so good. Okay, let me just check on the peppers one more time. We're getting close. Put those back in the middle rack because a couple of them are getting a little bit too browned. Trainers are expensive. I hear that, Jim. Like, when I was in Europe traveling and I wanted to, like, go to a couple gyms there, it was insane. It was like 20 euros for a drop-in. I'm like, are you crazy? It's like $40 Canadian for me to just go into the gym. But, like, everyone in Europe, I find, like, more just runs outside and stuff. Definitely don't have the gym culture like Canada does. Oh, you also have a grapevine. Nice. You got some good stuff. Okay, so Dunzo's with that. You're amazed, Liz. Yay. I'm so glad. Planet Fitness, yes. Okay. Let's check these. I think they're looking amazing. They're nicely charred on the outside. So where it's like a little bit too charred, you can actually just peel that off. And then we'll still chop it up the same. So corn are gonna go in now. Next, I think we're killing it so far. Yeah, obviously it's way cheaper to like buy months at a time rather than days. I think that's how they get you at any gym. Okay, so these are gonna cool for a little bit at least before we move on. We do need to chop up some herbs still. Green onion, cilantro, and dill. So why don't we do this? We'll just move this to the side. And then we'll make up our dressing. Yeah, it's super hard to be motivated to work out on your own. That's the struggle. And hopefully this is the last of the herbs that I have to buy from the store. Because my cilantro plant is already almost this size. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And I'm not going to put the cilantro in the salad because I have someone here that is not a huge fan of cilantro. So I'm gonna leave that on the side. But everything else is gonna go in. The green onions and the dill for sure. Yeah, Death, for sure. I mean, charred anything is always gonna have way better flavor. Trainers give you motivation, but they literally destroy you at the same time. Some of these leaves are looking a little sad. But that's okay. We only need a couple anyways. Honestly, the scale is like your worst enemy if you're working out. Like, don't even go on it. It's not always about your weight. You'll be surprised how much like weight can be displaced from one area to another. Like sometimes you'll just lose inches, but you'll build muscle, so your weight won't really fluctuate. This is the stuff that a lot of people don't realize. So like to jump on a scale after every workout is probably the worst thing you can do to like tell progress wise. Progress photos are really good though. That's accurate. That you can actually like look back on and see how much your body has changed. And then just always try and like be wearing the same clothes and be like in the same area kind of. Thanks, Rook. Thanks, man. Yeah, I got the window open here, which is like cooling them off nicely. We got that breeze. Special weights that tell you about body fat and muscle? What? I've never heard of this. What kind of trickery is this? Oh, the scales. Yeah. We actually have a Fitbit scale. It's my boyfriend's. And it's pretty accurate. We compared it to the one at the gym. And it was like bang on. So even though it's a little bit expensive, I mean, if that's what you're looking for, I think they work quite well. Which kind of surprised me. Okay, on to our green onions. Let's do 3 sprigs. peek at the corn. Nothing has happened. That's good to know. Yeah, your body fat is probably the most accurate way to tell how you are doing weight-wise. So we're just gonna thinly slice these. Yeah, ASMR has begun. Into our greens, so just kind of spread that over. Because I don't dress my salads when I make them, I always keep the dressing on the side. And that way, if there's anything extra, it can easily be packaged and it won't go soggy the next day. Is there any tips for eating meals within your calorie max? Apparently you undereat the amount of calories. Well, if you undereat, I guess that's a good thing. Because then you can add in things that you enjoy. But if you find that you're always like overeating, then I would say you need to add more vegetables into your diet. Because those are the lowest calories and you can eat a lot of them to help you stay full or at least feel full. Whereas like anything more fatty and higher in carbs, you won't get to eat as much of it and you will burn it off a lot faster. Definitely a little bit hard to find that happy medium. And I use MyFitnessPal a lot. I don't track anything anymore, but that's what I used like 5 years ago when I started working out and dieting. It really helps you just to know how much of everything you should be eating. And then once you kind of have a good idea of it, then your life gets a lot easier. I could be a diet planner. I know. I have my personal training textbook here. I just have never taken the course. Or I guess studied to take the test. But it is for sure a passion of mine to help people like actually eat food that they enjoy without worrying about being obese or having any health problems. Another little peek. Okay, just starting. So we'll chop up our dill and then we'll move on to our peppers. Jim, just go into McDonald's, yell YOLO and you're good. You only live once. Do it up. Yeah, breakfast is like your key meal. That's what kickstarts your metabolism in the morning. So if you don't eat breakfast, you're kind of like starving your body. And then every other meal you eat after that is going to actually be stored for energy because your body will think that it doesn't know when the next meal is. It's crazy. It's like a lot of science involved in eating properly, but to me it's very interesting. I think it all started when I took biology in school, and then I ended up taking a nutrition course in post-secondary. This is where our salad is at so far. So we just got our salad or our lettuce and the herbs. Wise words from Canada's very own Drake. Okay, we're good. We're good. On to our peppers. So they're a little bit soft. I'm not opposed to that. I don't think they're like mushy by any means because they're not really falling apart. But I'm going to take off the really charred pieces of skin. Family likes to bring sweetbread. Yeah, there's a lot of sabotages in life if you're on a diet. Like, you'll have to give up a lot of things. But if it's something that you want to do, well, then you just have to do it for a set amount of time. So if you're always like falling off your diet, well, then don't even start it to begin with, honestly. You'll just do more damage than good. Okay, 4:30. Doing good, guys. That's you, Jim. Okay, that's looking good. Look at our baguettes. Holy, they're proofing up together. I'm okay with that. Let's just tuck this under so it doesn't kind of flop over the end. I'll be okay with that. So I'm gonna cut the pepper into strips this size, and then I'll chop it into little cubes. So let's just slice it all up to begin with. Probably about 3 slices per, and then we'll cut it down further. You're gonna see a nutritionist on Tuesday. Nice. Nice. Honestly, I don't know how expensive that is, but I just hope that it's worth it for you. Yeah, nutrition class, just taking that on your own was awesome. That was like my favorite class in post-secondary, no joke. I know, see, Jim? You have to be consistent. Oh, your insurance covers it. Nice. Well, that's good then. A $15 copay? Was like that just the initial fee? Jim, why stop? Just be yourself. Let me taste one of these. Honestly, don't think it needs any seasoning. It's like super sweet and sour, kind of. But I am going to season the corn. Then you're bad, Jim. It's true. It's true. You're really good at being bad. What? That's weird, kitten. That's weird. I think they went like too far into it. Mickey D's is good, yet so bad. It's true. And then when they give you the coupons in the mail, it's like, well, I can't waste these. I'm pretty sure we'll be going out for some Egg McMuffins for breakfast this weekend. We'll see. So I gotta do my grocery shopping on Sunday since Monday's a holiday here. And the store is gonna be closed. Gotta get a head start. They got an app. See, I don't have the app, so that's a good thing. I saved myself the misery. Oh. Yum. Another pan done. Just gonna rinse my knife, probably wipe off the cutting board, and then let's check our corn. Nice. Just starting to brown. Oh, that's totally me too, kitten. It's like we never went out to eat that much, or we're never like brought home fast food for dinner. She home cooked a lot of stuff for us. You've deleted the app so many times, but then you just re-add it. Yeah, you're bad. Yeah, just eat McDonald's to clear out the system. It's true. Make you poop your pants. Okay, let's look at this dressing recipe. We need olive oil, limes, apple cider vinegar, cumin, coriander, hot sauce, and garlic. Grab this hot sauce. This is my own Chipotle buffalo hot sauce that I made, but it does have like this wing sauce in it. So I just poured it back into the bottle after I made a big batch, but no, this is not store-bought. It's got a really nice smoky flavor to it, which I thought would be really good with this salad. So let me get out my classic dressing container. We'll start by juicing the limes. These have been a little bit dry lately, cutting into them, so if there's not enough juice, I'll top it up with apple cider vinegar. And we're looking for about 3/4 of a cup of acid. Your friend drinks Coca-Cola when he has a problem with his stomach? That's terrible. Ugh. And I can't even drink Coke on a regular day. Look at, I finally get to use this. Here's the little lime insert. Some guy started eating raw heart and kidneys. What? Yeah, shivers. Kitten, I just saw your thing about the keto diet. I've never tried it. See what I mean? These limes are so dry. Like, what is going on? Is there even anything in here? Okay, let's do this one and see. I only drink root beer for soda, and sometimes like either orange or grape. But I am not a Coke fan. I've never really drank a lot of pop or soda to begin with, though. We weren't really raised like that, so it's probably why my taste buds just like aren't a fan of it. cooked meat makes him sick. I don't know if that guy is like real or not. What is he on? I know, driest limes ever. The heck? Let's check our corn one more time. Okay, we're looking good. Probably a couple more minutes and then we'll give it a little toss around. The coloring in Coke makes your heart turn dark. What? It was a one-time thing. I hope so. Try looking for the lighter colored ones. What? See, everyone always thinks it's like the green ones. Thanks, kitten. I'm gonna look for that next time, even though I always buy like just a big bag of limes, so these ones might just be a little bit old, let's say. Should have gotten that much juice from one. I know, exactly. So we're gonna pour equal parts of the olive oil. I like my dressings to be like really tangy and fresh. Some people double up the olive oil. I don't think I could do that. It would just like taste too fatty. And real quick, before we move on, I think it's corn tossing time. Oh yeah, check it out. So it's just starting to brown. Just gonna toss it up with a spatula and then put it back in. Smells so good. You guys could also use frozen corn for this. Just it might have a lot more like juice in it or water. So it could take a bit longer to get the char on it. $15 to 10 limes for $1. What? Yeah, that's a steal. 20? That's crazy. Where are you located? Like, you've got to be close to Mexico or somewhere. Okay, going back in. Okay, onwards with our dressing. I'm gonna mince a clove of garlic into here. Just one. You don't want to overpower anything. I'm gonna keep it nice and balanced. Oh, and I almost forgot to add the basil into the salad. Would have been a tragedy. Yeah, Liz, that's a good idea. Either like Hispanic or Asian supermarkets are usually really good. Steampunk, great question. Why do I stream? So I started streaming to just kind of get away from the restaurant life for a bit. So I left working in restaurants last year around, actually, sorry, I left my one like long-time job in Vancouver in October, and then I just did some catering jobs all of December for the Christmas season because it was really busy. And that was the last time I've been in a restaurant since then. And before that, I was working for like 7 years straight. in restaurants, and it's a crazy, crazy lifestyle. I mean, the hours are insane. The pay isn't very good, so I thought I would start streaming just to see if there was like another way for me to maybe make money. And I love to teach people how to cook. So I was like, maybe this can work. And it all kind of started from when I watched Jay Ghosty, Ninja's wife, do some cooking streams. And I was like, I could totally make better food than her. No offense to her at all. Because I guess like I am trained and she isn't. So that's fair. I was like, well, you never know if you don't start. And then Sam kind of knows all this stuff with computers, whereas I am terrible with them. So he helped me kind of kick everything off. And you never really know if you don't take the chance. Yeah, monetary wise, I guess, and just like a balance of lifestyle. Because like I started getting like really bad anxiety and like almost depression when I was working in the restaurant, the last one. And I just had to get out of there. And like streaming is not really good for money or to like make money, that's for sure. But it's been steadily increasing, which I think is good, and I don't want to stop. Like even if I get a part-time job, I'm still going to stream with you guys because I find the community on here is amazing. Everyone's really supportive. And I think I have a great group of people. Even if it's just small, this little bit is still gonna help the world. Okay, so I just put a teaspoon each of cumin and coriander. Steampunk, thank you for the sub. And welcome to the squad. You enjoy using that onion emote. Oh, it can be very dark. Yeah, I've gotten out of it. But yeah, it was scary. Like, I went to the hospital 3 times. I was like gone from work for 2 weeks because I couldn't eat or sleep. It was insane. And I was like, I think I need to change something that I'm doing. So then Sammy and I literally just quit our job and then decided to do something different. Thanks, Steampunk. Thank you. Oh, you live in Texas. Nice, kitten. We got some Texans in here. Quite a few of them. So let's put a couple teaspoons of hot sauce in here, and then we're gonna shake this up. Give it a little bit of spice. Spice is nice. Yeah, one of my mods, kitten, lives in Houston. Okay, we're closing up the container. Let's see how this turns out. Should be pretty balanced. Guys, another new sub. I'm so pumped. Seriously, thank you. That looks good. It actually emulsified really nice. What's the name of this dressing? I'm just calling it like a cumin and lime vinaigrette. Liz, have you hopped into the Discord yet? Because that's where all of my recipes are posted in PDF. That way you can like easily read them off or print them if you want. Say what? Oh, Matt's here. Hello, man. Happy Friday. You're just in it for the onion, Steampunk. Love it. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for posting my Discord. And welcome in, Evan Rachel Wood. Thanks for the follow. Freaky Friday is going really good so far. Watch me like open the oven and have everything burnt. Okay, kitten. Thanks for finding me today, and I hope you have a good weekend. I stream Monday to Fridays, starting at 2:30 p.m. PST. Okay, just taking a little tasty taste of this dressing. I think it definitely needs some salt and pepper and maybe a little bit more hot sauce. Please feed you, Evan Rachel would. Well, if you lived near, then for sure I would. You're in there like swimmer? Yes, Liz. Well, welcome to the Discord then. That makes me happy. We're pretty active on there. Steampunk, you're always in there. Oh, Matt, how was your day? Off-road, hey-yo. Hello. Okay, one more shake. We put a little bit more hot sauce and some salt and pepper. Your day is good. Nice. Have you had a couple beers? I'd be disappointed if you have not by this point. No way, oh Matt. Congrats, man. You can officially start. No beers, holy. I'm surprised. You've had 2 dinners, okay. Now we're talking. It's understood. Is truffle expensive? I would say yes. But the cheaper version of truffles is truffle oil, which you can pretty much find at any supermarket. And this is pretty much white truffles blended with olive oil. So it's a little bit more tame in flavor, not as funky or earthy. Dressing's perfect now. Ooh, it has like a nice bite in the back of your throat. But it's not spicy tasting. Definitely getting the lime juice in there. The cumin is not overpowering, which you need to make sure of because cumin is a very strong spice. Liz, you want me on the Food Network? I don't know if I want to be on the Food Network. Like, this is why I'm streaming as well, is because you can't really stage what happens on stream. Like, if something messes up, well, then you kind of just have to roll with it. And you either learn from your mistake, or you just play it off like it was supposed to happen. We're just going to quickly chop up this basil. Ooh, good thing I checked the corn, guys. She done. She donezo. So that's as far as I'm going to take this. We're gonna let that cool before we put it on the greens. Oh, Matt, you made dinner and made a big portion for tomorrow, but you finished it. He's out of control. Necro, that's bad. Why would you make me say that? Thanks for the follow. Beautiful art. Thanks. Thanks, Evan. So we're gonna chop the basil pretty fine, just so it disperses throughout the salad evenly. Pasta tuna salad. What is wrong with you? He's got the hunger. You traded the thirst for the hunger, oh Matt? What happened? A guy's gotta eat, I guess. Oh, you started working out. See? Now your metabolism's gonna get even crazier. Okay, so our oven can actually come off for now. We're done with that. So here's our salad, and then the last thing we gotta do is just put the corn on top. Just gonna put the dressing on the side here. Not worried about it crushing the greens too much. So let's just set that aside. And let's go on to our truffled mushrooms. And then at 10 after 5, we need to start baking the bread. Yeah, that's totally it, oh Matt. So that's like the one downside of working out if you have a good metabolism already, is that you're gonna have to eat mass amounts of food. So pasta is like gonna be your best friend. And rice. All of the carbs, let's just say that. Okay, onto our cremini mushrooms. So these are just gonna get sliced up. You don't want to go super thin because then they'll get really mushy. And I always just kind of give them a little rub down before I process them, because there is sometimes just a little bit of poop in there. It's literally poop. That's what mushrooms grow in, is manure. So just be aware of that. But I don't typically wash it under water, just because mushrooms will soak in a lot of that liquid and then it will be hard to like fry them up later. Which one's more funky? Well, the actual truffle is like the funky thing. You can buy both black and white truffle oil, I believe. And yeah, they're quite mild. You still get like an idea of what the flavor is like, but until you've had an actual truffle fresh, it's not going to be the same. And it's an acquired taste for sure. I'm going to guess that the black truffles are more funky. But honestly, I'm not going to tell you either way because I am not 100% sure about that. So I'm gonna let Google answer that for you. I'm not gonna tell no lies. See? Poop fingers. It's a thing. Okay, let's start slicing. Slicing and dicing. Fine everywhere already. Okay, it might get a little loud. I really enjoy chopping mushrooms, like as fast as humanly possible, so I'm gonna hear some cutting for sure. Need to make sure my skills are still good. I used to be able to do like 10 pounds in 15 minutes, like super thin sliced. I don't think I could do that now. At least not properly. I'm fumbling. Rookie, yeah, for sure. I know for a fact if I went to like go work in a kitchen, it would take me a good week to like hone my skills again. Definitely have slowed down a bit since I started streaming. Why so thin? Just so they're easier to saute. And plus they're going in a sandwich. So I want them to be like cooked down quite well, rather than it being chunky. Can you eat this raw? Of course. You can eat mushrooms raw. It's just like a texture preference if you want to do that. Because it's more spongy. What can I do for you? Dropped a couple shrooms. No, not the shroomies. Oh, Matt, any plans this weekend? Why are you being so quiet? No plans, really? You're just relaxing? I guess you had a pretty big weekend last weekend. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The grill just got home. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm guessing the corn is nicely cooled off by now. Is the broth high enough? Yes. I mean, being that low of a simmer, I don't think it's going to reduce at all. There's just going to be a lot of flavor imparted. Mmm. The corn kind of got crispy. I like it. Got a little crunchy crunch. And like I said, we're just going to dress this with a little bit of salt and pepper before we put it onto the salad. I know, it's a little hard to see right now. I know, oh Matt, I know you're here. Thanks. Thanks, Steampunk. So about half a teaspoon of salt. And we'll just toss this up. You're always listening. Yeah, everyone's being super attentive right now. I like it. Okay, let's try a little bit more. Like perfectly sweet and salty. Cookery, hi. How are you? How did the stream go today? I'm doing good so far. It's been like a productive yet kind of like relaxing day. I don't know if that makes sense. But like everything has just been going really good. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. What did you guys make on stream today? Hey, that's our salad, guys. You love beef dip? Yes, I think it's definitely like a Canadian thing. Quinoa cheese patties, fried eggs, curry cookies. What? And you made yogurt. Yum. That sounds so good. Like even the curry cookies would be good with dinner, I think. So salad, I'm just gonna go quickly put it into the other fridge. And then we're gonna carry on with our mushroom prep. So we need our onion, garlic, and to chop up a couple of these herbs. So I'll be right back in like 20 seconds. If you don't know what beef dip is, it's an American thing. Or like North American thing. And it's a couple minutes after 5, so I'm going to preheat the oven for our baguettes. Let me just quickly reference the recipe here. Yeah. 450 Fahrenheit. And I need a pan on the bottom of the oven with water in it. And then the steam is going to help create crusty bread. So that's key. I'm just going to use a little pan like this, like a little pie pan. Yeah, Omad, if you can make it through this whole stream, you will see how glorious a beef dip is. All the way on the bottom rack. Be careful not to spill it. And we're pretty much good to go. Yeah, you'll see the picture on my Insta. It's so true. And you'll be like, oh, I'm in. Yeah, au jus. That's what's in the pot right now being made on the stove. Roasted off some beef bones. Oh, by the way, Cookery, are you feeling any better? You're starting to beat that sickness. I'm gonna do 3 cloves of garlic for our mushrooms. You're feeling better. Yay, that's good. Nothing worse than being like sick on May long weekend. Kate smashed the garlic. Super easy to peel after. Just set those aside and then we'll mince them into the mushrooms later. And then julienne time for our onion, so thinly sliced. Hello, Mama. I'm gonna cut off the little onion butt end. So it likes to keep all of these held together. And plus it's quite tough, so it doesn't break down very quick in the pan. There's that. Let's move on to our herbs. So let's pick our thyme off of the stem. And we'll chop everything up pretty fine. That way you get equal flavor imparted throughout. And then we also have these similar herbs in the jus and in the beef that's in the sous vide. Thanks, Dante. Rook, does this mean you're done working? Rosemary's a little bit tougher to chop. Sometimes it likes to fly all over. So I go kind of slow at the start. And you can pick up speed once it's broken down a bit more. You want to cut it down quite fine just because rosemary is strong. You don't want to bite down on a whole piece of that because it'll overpower everything else. Nice cookery. You're gonna start, maybe hopefully get your garden going. And then this is our sage. So I'll thinly slice it to start and then we'll go over it once more. Yeah, totally, Omat. Like, these three herbs are great with mushrooms or like anything really earthy. Complements the flavor nice. Okay, there's that. Am I drinking any wine? Or did you ask Mom that? Yeah, I got no wine on the go. I got nothing. I'm sober. Okay. Time is 10 after 5. Perfect. So now we can prep up our bread, our little baguettes. Take a peek at them. I know some of them proof together. Oh shoot. Don't do this. Okay, we're fine. And I'm okay with that. Totally okay. We just need to score them a couple times so they don't explode in the oven. So here is my little baking scorer. It's called a loin. And it's literally just a razor blade, so be very, very careful. And this is going to help the steam escape from when the bread bakes. I always just make 2 slashes when I'm making baguettes. You want them on an angle. Like that, and then those are gonna go in. And it says 24 to 28 minutes, so let's see how long. Let's go on the shorter side and then check them at that point. And I think those are gonna blow up like crazy. "24-minute timer on." Done, done, done. Cookery, I didn't know you lived in Alberta for years. What? You lived in Edmonton? No way. Very similar to us. Honestly, Mama, I think I'm okay for now. I'm gonna stick to water still. Okay, so now we're gonna start cooking our mushrooms. I was going to do them in that pan, but I think I want to save it to sear the strip loin in. So I'm gonna use my other pot here, my cast iron. Something just a bit deeper. And this should work out good as well. And yes, it is a little bit scorched on the bottom. I need to buy some Barkeeper's Friend. So let's turn that guy on to a medium-high heat. Mr. Cookery was born in Calgary. Yay! What kind of chef turns down wine? Honestly, I had coffee for the first time today in like a month, so I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't affect me negatively, because it usually dehydrates me a lot, but I love coffee so much that just trying to figure out if it is still bad for me or not, honestly. So a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom. And then we'll start with our onions frying. And the mushrooms and everything else will go in after that. Oh my God, Cookery's parents lived in Braeside. What a small world. That is so cool. And then the truffle part of the truffled mushrooms, the truffle oil has to go in at the very end. You don't actually want to cook truffle oil because it will get a really bitter flavor. And yeah, I am kind of a weak sauce when it comes to alcohol now. Bye, Omat. Have a good weekend, man. Hopefully you see your grill. And stay thick, my friend. See you on Monday, maybe. Okay, let's get our trusty wooden spoon out. And we gotta keep an eye on the time. Because at 5:30, we're gonna take the beef out. And then we can start searing it. Whoa, Sack just pops in. Hello. How are you? Yeah, small world. Actually, as that's heating up, I'm gonna take my other bathroom break, so I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Hey, I'm here, running in. I'm doing well, Sack. Happy it's Friday, that's for sure. How's our oil? Almost ready? Not quite dancing yet. And actually, you know what? While we're waiting, why don't I strain out the beef jus so that we can get it ready. We'll see if it needs any extra oomph or beef flavor, and we can add a little bit of pre-bought broth if we need it. Sack, it's your hump day. Aw. You know what? I totally feel for you though, because I always used to work weekends, so these last 4 months of having weekends off, it took me quite a while to adjust to that. And you know what? I liked working weekends because when you had your days off during the week, everything was like so quiet because everyone else was at work. Okay, oil is just starting to smoke. Let's get our onion into there. I hope not steampunk. I mean, we put a lot of love into that broth. You want to hear that sizzle when you drop your onions in? Yeah, I always had Monday, Tuesdays off as well. It was like my favorite thing. Even Sundays were pretty good too, though. Let's give that a stir, and then we'll let those brown up a bit. That's how you create all the lovely flavors. And to strain this, oops, sorry guys. I think I might just try to strain that stuff out of that pot so I don't have to dirty another thing. The shrooms are here. Shrooms have not gone anywhere. Maybe I'll be able to use this guy. Let's see. Let us see. Oh, just a sec though. I don't want these to brown too fast. Might have to turn down the heat just a little bit. Let's go like medium or just under. No, I don't know if that one will work. Oh, maybe. Get in there. Oh, that piece of beef though. Slowly simmer. I'm gonna go with another method. Slotted spoon for the win. Gonna make brownies. Oh man. Bring them on over. Feel free to share a little. Maybe even a bit lower still. No burnt onions. Definitely got nice and dark, but there is a really good layer of fat. Like really good. You guys notice how I'm not peeking at the bread? Because if you let that steam escape, the crust is not going to turn out the same way. So you want to keep our oven closed the whole time. Okay, you just have a couple of herbs floating in there. And I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with our little bit of rosemary that's floating around. Oh, it's for sure fat from the marrow. Give our onions another stir. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more olive oil to that pot. Saying steampunk, yeah, I don't know if you can really tell, but it looks good. I'll see what I can skim off. Got my ladle here. Trying my best to not get too much of the broth in there with the fat. Just do a little bit at a time. Okay, the onions are looking good. They're almost all browned, so let's mince in our garlic. Grabs very hard and intensely. Is it that much fat? Yeah, there's quite a bit of fat. Now there's only like 1/8 of an inch, so I'm good with that. We'll mince in our garlic and then we'll throw our mushrooms in. Then we'll quickly taste our broth, see if it needs anything, and then we're on to our strip loin, finally. We've been so patient. So just stir that garlic into the onions so it kind of caramelizes a bit. In go our shroomies. So you could cover that pot now if you wanted to kind of steam it quickly. But before we do that, we're gonna put in a nub of butter, because butter makes everything better. I guess I also could have put in the beef fat that I skimmed if I want it to be really gross. In the best way possible. Can be dirty in a good way. Yeah, I like to cook the water out of it as well. Oh, I got no butts. Okay, I might have to run up quickly. We used up all the butter yesterday. Going to grab a little nub from Betty. Hey guys, we got the butter. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, epic fail. That garlic smell in here though. You're gonna want like a good nub of butter in there. Don't be shy. Mushrooms and butter, the best combo. Put that in the bottom. That'll keep everything really happy. The bread smell, I know. It's actually starting. There's 6 minutes left. Give me all of it. We'll check those in a little bit. Let's taste our broth. Mmm. It's actually quite beefy. I think if I just add a little bit of salt to it and then pour in the juices that are hopefully in the bag, in the sous vide, we should be good. Let's try and like not doll this up with any store-bought stuff. The salt, just crazy. Craziness. We're gonna be good. Let's turn this off. Neat. Pull out the bag. We'll just do this on a plate. And then I'm going to turn on the other cast iron as well. You're gonna want a pretty high heat here for it. Let's do like just past medium. The smells would make you gain 10 pounds. The torture. Yeah, that feels good. Holy smokes. You guys take a look at this. Just like the way that I can like poke it. Yes, please. I'm gonna put the bag here, and the key here is to get the beef very, very dry. So we're gonna wipe it off with paper towel, because if you have something that's wet, it's not actually going to sear up that well. Take the beef out, take out the thyme and the garlic. So you can see how the fat is not caramelized at all. And then look at these juices in the bag. So that's gonna go into the jus. And this is going to be a little bit salty as well. Oh, it's quite salty. So maybe I'll just add a little bit of water to this just so we don't ruin our jus. Couple tablespoons, and then that's gonna go in. Yum. Now let's pat this off. It feels really good. I'm just hoping that when we slice it, it's like perfect medium rare inside. We got 2 minutes left on our bread. Let's give these mushrooms a stir, and then everything is coming together, guys. And we're not going to put any fat in the pan for the beef. It has a fat cap on it, so we want to render that out and crisp it up. And then if you look here in the mushrooms, they've released quite a bit of water. So once that evaporates and cooks out, that's when your mushrooms are going to start to crisp up. So I'm going to leave the lid off now. I'm going to turn up the heat just so we can cook the liquid out of those quite fast. It's all about timings, people. Thanks, cookery. I'm super excited for beef dips. Let's try our broth now that we added a little something to it. Literal perfection. It's like almost too salty, but you know when you dip the entire sandwich into it with the cheese and the bread, it's going to be perfectly seasoned. Definitely a really good beef flavor as well. So to spend that $6 on the bones to make this yourself, so much better than buying something processed. Shadowlyn, thank you. My hair is crazy. I actually need a haircut. It's getting a little wild. Okay, it's almost hot, and I will probably have to turn up the hood fan when I put the beef in, just because it's going to smoke a lot. And I will open my window too, just in case. Don't cut it. Well, I need to cut it for it to keep growing though. Okay guys, we're peeking. Let me just open this window. I'll put the beef in the pan and then we'll look at the bread. All of the things at once. Ready for the sizzle? Yeah, just a trim. Pumpkin, you would spank me. Oh my god. Holy. Okay, some of these got a little burnt. Like some of those, it's a little bit dark. But to be fair, this is my first time that I have baked any bread in this oven. So now I know it bakes up quite hot. But if we look at those, like it's almost burnt, but luckily we're making baguettes, so it's okay if the crust is a little bit darker. Not my best work though. I'm gonna admit that right now. A little bit sad, but I mean the bottom is not burnt, so that's okay. Like, it's still good, but it could be a lot better than what it is. I only need 4 anyways for tonight's dinner, so these 2 will probably just turn into breadcrumbs or something. Or something like that. Prime rib or the strip loin is smelling super good. They are quite crusty as well. Good thing, yeah, good thing we have jus. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey, we need a pair of tongs here. Let's check on our boof. Okay, it's going to turn down the heat a bit so I can keep rendering that fat out. But if we look at the color, that's where we're at. Unreal.
Sounds yummy.
Hi, Henry.
Hi, everyone. Hi, yummy.
What?
Cool down here.
It's cool?
Cool.
It's cool. Here you look. Well, that looks good first of all. But look it.
Holy.
Those are burnt.
Holy.
Sammy's ready.
No, your dad's ready, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's ready.
Okay, I'm going to trim off this little bit of silver skin here. I'm just going to take a paring knife because I know it's going to be tough when I go to slice this. Get it out. But look at that color of how it's cooked. Perfect medium rare. Yeah, he always comes down when the work is done. I mean, they're just got home though. I always try and schedule din so that it's like ready right when they get home. Let's give this a flip and do the other side. But hello is all I can say. Like, look how much fat has come off of that. Mushrooms are almost there. And I'm gonna grab the provolone out. Zach, thank you. I'm glad you think the bread looks fine. I mean, it's just really crusty, but it's super light. Turn that pan off now. Same with the broth. We'll be good. So let's get into this bread. I will start to cut it in half. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart. To see it searing after we cook the beef. I know. Okay, well, look at, I just broke this in half and it looks really lovely. I think you would really love a sous vide steampunk. They're just so easy. That's some crusty French loaf for show. We're gonna try to not cut it all the way through, but it might break. Yeah, it's gonna break. Okay, we're gonna just cut them all the way through. I think they might have overproofed, to be honest. They're looking a little flat to me. But the crumb inside is really nice. So for dipping, I think we're good. I can't believe the beef is still sizzling right now. Having a feel on it, seeing if it's getting overcooked, but I don't think so. And I think I'm just going to build everything on the bottom half of the sandwich and toast it up in the baguette pan under the broiler. So let's just put these all together. And then I'll put the beef on the board so we can slice it. We kind of need the beef to build the sandos. So I'll do something like that. Just put that right in front of me, actually. I think that'll be easy peasy. And this guy. Where do I want to grab this? Boop. Boop. Okay, that worked well. Kind of scary there for a sec. Let's do this. And I think for the shrooms, I'm going to turn them off too. Add in the truffle oil. I'll give them a season. You want about a teaspoon of truffle oil, maybe even less. Probably not that much, to be honest. Maybe about half. Because like I said, it is potent. You don't want to ruin the beef flavor, that's for sure. Okay, that smells good. Give them a taste. About half a teaspoon of salt. Touch of cracked pepper. And then we can get to slicing and building. I'll turn the broiler on for us. Okay, guys. Oh man. Are we even ready for this? Trying to just figure out a knife that I want to use. I think I'll use this one. Maybe I should just take a quick photo before I disrupt this. Thanks, Gillis. Cooking it this way, do you still need to let it stand? No, typically not. It's a pretty quick process, which is why it's so useful to use. What? Gillis! With the sub. Thank you. Welcome to the squad. I think that's number 3 today. Thank you so much. Honestly. All of the support is appreciated. That's what helps me to keep doing what I do. Okay, we're going in. Let's start at this end. I'll cut off a little nubby. Oh man. Okay, I think I need to eat that piece though. Testing. Deliciously salty and beefy. Thank you, Gillis. And this is why sous-vide is like one of the greatest things ever. You don't have to keep running to your oven to check if your meat is overcooking. It just does its thing. Set it to the temp that you want it to be cooked at and say goodbye to it for a couple hours. And all of these little pieces of fat in here, we're gonna leave that in. Yes, steampunk. I think the Anova is the best priced one right now. We have never had an issue with ours. And you can even get them with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Yeah, might as well.
And they have an amazing app for it too. That has like all the recipes, and you can set your sous vide from your phone as well. This looks too good. Trying to go as thin as possible. But this is gonna be super tender, so it's okay if it's a little bit thicker. This is killing you. I'm sorry, steampunk. This is how I like to do my Fridays though. I think it's typically something beefy. Oh, actually, so I just felt this little cap here of fat. That's actually quite gristly and hard. So once I'm done slicing a bunch of this up, I'm just going to layer it all and just cut that piece off, because that's not going to be very appetizing. Maybe I'll just do this right now. Yeah, she's hard. But we left that on while cooking just so it kept everything really nice and moist. You want to leave that fat cap on.
But I almost suggest using your skincare for that. You might get closer.
It's okay. I'm almost done anyways. I have one, it's upstairs. And I do have a scimitar, but I don't slice with it too often. I think this is working pretty good though. I got too excited. Okay, I think that's enough. That is enough for now. And all of these meat juices. I'm dying. My skills are 10 out of 10. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, beef. Move on over. I might put a paper towel here, just in case it decides to drip. Don't feel like having that everywhere on my notebook and that stuff. So I'm gonna do the meat first. It's actually like the perfect size for these buns as well. So I'll put a couple layers in. Oh yeah, I wanted to trim those other pieces. Trimity trim trim. So let's stack them. These smaller pieces are fine. Okay, it's a good thing I put the paper towel there. Tragedy for Kate's notebook. Death, you had to grab food. It's killing you, man. Okay, we're good. Continuing. So that piece, if it's hanging off, just kind of rip it off and place it back on there. Okay, there's another tough part. And another one. You don't want to be like biting down on really tough pieces while you're eating a beef dip. That's a no-no. It should just like melt in your mouth. These pieces are a little bit smaller. Just kind of layer them like that. And then this last piece, I think I'm just going to cut into 3 and top up those other ones. Like so. Quickly gonna wash my hands up. And then next we're gonna go over to the mushrooms. Put those on top and then we'll cheese them. And then it's broil time. Gillis, thanks for the host as well. Truffled shroomies. And if you don't know what a beef dip is, it's very messy to eat. It's like one of those sandwiches that once you pick it up, you can't put it down. Get on there. Oh, we got some shrooms running. Lastly, a couple slices of provolone. And we are well on our way to eating. How am I doing? 5:58. We're still good, guys. 2 slices on each sando. Hello. And into the oven it goes. I know I love provolone. I just want to like keep eating it. But I'll wait. I'll behave myself and just eat it on the sandwich. That's heavy. So let's just pray that the cheese doesn't go everywhere. I'm a little worried about the oven rack too. So I'm gonna just adjust it 1 lower when we're going in. Okay, our jus. Just gonna pour a little bit in a bowl. Like that. I'm gonna move this beef out of here. The salad has to come in too. Torch it? Well, you're crazy. I don't have a very good torch, to be honest. I need a Searsall or something. Okay, we're almost there already. Already. Make some room over here as well. We're playing Tetris right now. Hello, Heaven. How are you? So all we gotta do is top up our sandos. I'm gonna squish that top on. I'm gonna take another photo while I'm doing this. Oh, that's the bottom. One of these is upside down. It takes forever to clean the dishes? Not really. I mean, we just load up 2 dishwashers and then Betty and I usually split whatever we have to do by hand. It's a solid team effort, always. Okay, that's a hot sando. I'm just gonna go run and get the salad. This is what we're looking at. Heavenly. There's our jus. Be back in 20 seconds. Okay, our large and in charge. A solid 1 pound. It is heavy. Like, there is some stuff in there. And I need all of it. was going to put goat feta on the salad, but I think we have enough richness going on with the sandwich. So let's just leave it like this. Put a good mound of this stuff on. It's good for you. And then if you like cilantro, sprinkle a little bit of that on. So it'll go great with our cumin and lime vinaigrette. Enough cheese? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Sometimes you gotta make those calls. Is it bright enough in here? That's probably a bit better. Never enough. I knew someone was gonna say it. Thanks, Steampunk. Honestly, thanks for the sub today. Every little bit helps. So just a bit of the vinaigrette. And then I'm gonna go into the sandwich first. That's a must. So let's get a dip. This side looks pretty good to me, but then again, like, so does that side. Let's get a soaky soak. Yeah, get in my belly. It's pretty crusty, that's for sure. It's good though, it's gonna make me work for it. Put this one on the food truck menu, yes. Sammy and I have always loved making beef dips, it's true. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Will I destroy my mouth with this bread? I guess we'll find out. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's proper. I'm gonna go in for the second bite. Don't even doubt me on that. The beef is super tender. You get a hint of all of the herbs, the truffled mushrooms. You just get that hint of truffle. It's like just a little bit of like earthy umami flavor. And then obviously the cheese is kind of just holding everything else together so it doesn't fall apart. The crust is okay. It's not as bad as I thought. Like, that's what we're looking at. It's just like a very, very thin crust. Super crunchy. Thanks, guys. Yeah, go for a world record. How fast can we eat it? Okay, I'm just gonna wash my hand and or face so I can like feel the grease dripping down the side of my chin right now. That's a good thing. Now just a little bit of salad. And then we're gonna call it a day. Got a little bit of everything on my fork full. Some peppers, some corn, all of the herbs. Let's do it. Extra greasy, yes. Mm-hmm. The corn and the peppers add a really nice sweetness to this dish. And then obviously the lettuce kind of just lightens everything up. I think that's a great pairing to go with something as rich as this. Thanks, Rook. Thanks, man. Thanks for the biddies this week as well. It looks like Tristan is our top cheer. And Viyun is our top donator. So I'm going to be contacting them for their requests. Honestly, guys, this is a meal. And all the recipes are on Discord. I don't stray from them. Unless we call like audibles, like not putting any more cheese. But that's it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna look for someone to raid. Thanks for all of the love today. Honestly, it was a really great day. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will catch you next week. Hopefully starting on Monday. What's up, Sammy? Okay, sushi day is on, so we're gonna go in. Get your onions ready. Good night, guys. Yeah, feeling the love. Hurry, Jeffrey. Hurry. Ask the question. We got our countdown. She's frying bacon right now. It looks too good. Okay. Good night, everyone. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. See you next week.